Live. Okay, hopefully we'll see this works better. And welcome to 5am Mester Scrum. Started a little bit late today. I was experimenting. It's 5:11, and that was one of the experiments right there. That is Bubbles. So we'll see if Bubbles joins our show and provides commentary and comic relief, I should say. Again, it's 5 a.m. Oh, there's her sister. I was not expecting that. That is weird and totally unexpected. I got a thumb up from my daughter yesterday. I said, how about if I put the ladder up there? You think Bubbles will get in the back of the video? She's laughing. She's like, yeah, you should do it. So now we got cats in the video, so we should get high likes, right? So again, 5am Mester Scrum. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll experiment with this. I didn't know that was going to happen with the ladder, but why not? Fixed a couple of mess ups. I did shave this morning because it was all scruffy last time. Got an extra microphone because I needed the microphone for the phone, or two places to get feedback in. And so the goal of the 5am Mester Scrum, we'll do a couple of things. One, we're going to talk about Scrum and Agile and different ideas. And I'm going to give a couple things, what I did, just like a daily Scrum. Should take a couple seconds. And then talk about maybe one or two subjects. And I'll be done in less than 15 minutes because daily Scrum should be less than 15 minutes. There's no team that shouldn't take any more. Sorry about the ums. I'll try to track that. And we got two angles and two videos. And a cat behind me. Okay, that's going to mess me up. The tail part, I wasn't counting that. Right now, drinking my UPS coffee mug early in the morning. I figured I needed coffee today. And go from there. Okay, so what did I do the other day? I got out the corporate documents from my friend. So he's unblocked. He's out sending stuff to everybody to read and make sure it's good. And when he gets it back, we'll sign it and we'll submit it to the city. One of the things I learned, I was blocked. Apparently the IRS is not open at 2 o'clock in the morning. Go figure, right? Apparently they only take the EIN submittal stuff in between 7 a.m. and 10 a.m. or 10 p.m. So come 7 a.m. I'll submit the EIN number for him. I also reserved the 5am Mester Scrum URL. I created a channel on YouTube. I have to turn it on yet and put a little logo on it, but I'm recording these videos anyhow to get ready for the show. So I got the 5am Mester Scrum and set up a couple other things and talked to a couple of friends that to land some interviews for them on their activities, and just gave them some pointers. They were waiting for people to get back to them, and just had to check with them and unblock them because they were blocked. So I did a little Scrum Master stuff for their stuff too. And we'll see how that went. I think he did good because he actually got a couple of people confirmed. So he's going to be doing his thing. So I helped him with his process. Okay, so what am I going to do today? I already talked about doing the EIN stuff. I have a couple of things going on. I looked at my schedule. Pull up your daily guide. What's going on. I already checked this morning all my meetings and Outlook for my the company I'm working for this time. And I got a bunch of just daily Scrum meetings I got to go through. I'm actually introducing a playbook that I have right for them. Every time I go to a company, it turns out that I do a playbook. I did some back history. And within a month, if they don't have one, I actually create one. So I gotta present that today. And then there's another meeting, a couple other presentations as an enterprise Agile coach. Just coming up with new process and procedures for them. And this one is about logging work into Rally and Jira. Go figure. Not everybody's logging work in. So I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Maybe I'll put a blog post about how to do that too. So those are my things today. And then I got to pick up the kids and make sure they're there. There's a cat back there messing with me. So I was like trying to get it off. Anyway, Looks like, nope, there's still one back there. There's another one. Okay, so topics. Let's say daily Scrum was a good one because we're talking about daily Scrum. And the other topic will be, I don't know. We'll just do daily Scrum and we'll figure out the next topic. Maybe backlog grooming because I had a good issue yesterday. Also, just on the note, there was a LinkedIn feed that was talking about interviews, and one of the interviews I really liked it. It was offshore, and the interview, the guy asked me what is not in my resume, and I thought it was a really good question because we've been interviewing a bunch of people for Agile Coach positions, and I actually used it. I asked the interviewee, so what is not on your resume? And it was a good response. I'm having an extra 15-minute conversation about everything that's not on the resume. So that worked out great. I wonder how this cat thing is going to work. This is an experiment, and it's probably a distraction. For me, she's now attacking my chair. But that's okay. She's worse than her sister. Usually her sister's much worse. That's funny. And they're alley cats, by the way. They're rescue cats. So this is Heart, and the other one's Bubbles. So maybe I should put my little picture of them as a kitten. I have a tester and a developer little meme I wrote up with the two of them when they were kittens. This one found the bug, was looking in the window, and the other one jumped up to help him get the bug. So I made a big thing on a posting on that. So we'll talk about that. Okay, daily Scrum. As you know, daily Scrum should be short, brief, and to the point. The idea behind daily Scrum, like I only spend like 30 seconds to a minute when we do this, more because I'm doing introduction stuff. But when you do daily Scrum, everybody should go down pretty quickly. And one of the things I came up with when the first time we do daily Scrum is we do a exercise called it was 3 questions, and it's a networking exercise. I've used it at a couple events that I've spoken to, and actually the Agile Philly event, which is in the fall, a guy wants me to do it again this time, and I'm going to send him my application for him. So that's another thing I got to do, but I'm not going to do that's on my whip. And I got to do a good job managing my whip. So the thing is, you say, what fun thing did you do last weekend? What is the next fun thing you're going to do the following weekend? And are there any blockers to having fun? And the reason why you do that, it gives you in a networking advance some information about the person. So when you have conversations, you're trying to remember their name, you have some visual reference to clue you in on what that would be. There goes the cats. Okay, so where's Bubbles on here? Bubbles. Where's Bubbles? Anyway, so that distraction's over. All right, cool. So we're at the 8-minute mark. One of the things in that daily Scrum, so I've done that thing with 30 people in the room in less than 8 minutes. So the other reason why you do it from a coaching perspective, I go around the room. I don't talk work. I don't talk what we're doing. I don't get all technical. I just have them give an example. And when I teach the class, I do it for a reason, because it shows that daily Scrum doesn't have to be very long. And if you have 30 people in the room, like, oh God, and then you go around and ask them, well, how long do you think it took? Most people are like, oh man, it took 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it would be. And they're usually much longer. There's only been 1 or 2 people that actually guessed it. But the last time I did it with about 25 people, it took 6.5 minutes. They all guessed higher, and they're all shocked. They're like, oh my God, we learned all this information about everybody else in the room, and there's like 25 of us, and we did it in 6 minutes. Yeah, we're doing daily Scrum wrong. Like, you got it. So anyway, they slowly but surely catch up on it. So that's one of the things I wanted to present to you from a daily Scrum perspective. I have a video of it at a conference, actually 2 conferences, where we capture some video blogs, and I'll put a link below on those video things. They're on my personal one. They're not on the channel yet, but I'll link the play link in my channel. I'll make some playlists about Scrum and things like that, and I'll build some different playlists related to topic areas. And I want your feedback too. So if there's anything that you all want to hear about from a Scrum or Agile perspective, feel free to at it. And we got lots of content, so we'll have to figure this out. But one thing I definitely need to do, they talk about playing it out. So one of the things I do for my daily Scrum, I have my own personal daily Scrum where I would go into my Outlook page, look at all the meetings I have through the day and the things I got to personally do. And I actually kind of, hopefully you can see, kind of write it down in my little blog thing, what meetings, when they are. It's in my calendar, but the good thing about doing this is that it makes me think about it and remind me of some stuff, and it triggers some thoughts on what I want to look for before the meeting. So it helps me prime. So basically, my own personal daily Scrum as an Agile Coach or Scrum Master in the past, and just getting your stuff together is just like go through all the things you got to do. So that's the to-do part. What did you finish yesterday? Kind of clears your mind after falling asleep for a couple hours. You don't get a lot of sleep around if you do 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, right? Yeah, no, not 5 a.m. They're all, oh my, what are you doing? Anyway, so got that going on. Let's see, is there any other things? No, for now, that's good enough because my brain just shot. But I need to write these down as ideas. So this is a lessons learned video. At least I fixed this blooper where the door to the washer dryer is no longer open. So that's fixed. Lessons learned. Try it out. Doesn't hurt. And see where you go. So with that, I got that done. Okay. So the other one I want to talk about is backlog. And during the thing we were chatting, because the guys out of the Agile Coach, and we're just chatting. And one of the ideas was cleaning up the backlog. One of the things that product owners and BAs and people in business and the teams don't do enough is just keeping their backlog clean. And I have been a proponent of that for most of my career, where not only do you enter stuff, you have to go in every while and clean up. You have to de-weed it. And the visual, and I'm going to make a little blog post later, is cleaning the dead limbs out of a tree. Right, and I got a good tree. It's got some dead limbs. I'm going to take a picture of it and put it up on my blog post and then talk about it. People need to go in their systems like Rally, Azure, DevOps, VST, old VSTS, Jira, all those systems, Trello, whatever you're using. And you need to go through your backlog and look how old stuff is. You need to see some of the companies have stuff that's in there for a year, Other companies I've done in the past, they had a year backlog. I'm like, why is this stuff so stale? And you think of it from a lean perspective. It just fills up your backlog, makes it more complicated. Lots of stuff in the backlog. Visually on the screen, it just looks bad. So what you need to do is go through every once in a while and say, hey, give me all my features and stories that are greater than a year old. And just do a quick look. Personally, from a lean perspective, if you haven't implemented it in a year and you have it in your system, it ain't had that value. You should just delete it. Don't even say, oh, I'll save it. Why are you going to save it? It's like, it just takes up space. It's clutter. You're not going to do it. And you're going to spend more time and more money trying to figure out why the heck you wrote it in the first place than you will actually doing it. So if you have features in your backlog, do the thing. Go in there and say, okay, what features are here or stories that are more than a year old? Personally, I say delete them. Someone say, oh, archive them. You can archive them, it's fine. But get them off your screen. Get them out. It's clutter. It messes up your brain. So let it go. Anyway, so those are two things. Talked about little daily Scrum, the networking thing, and I'll post those links below. Also, Paul talked about clean up your backlog. And with that, I think we're at like almost 14 minutes. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is session number 2. And I got to do number 2. I hope I didn't curse anybody out there. I know there's all kinds of things, like if you do it one way, another way. So session 2. Sorry, I apologize to anybody who gets offended by doing the 2. And remember, this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Please subscribe, like us, comment. Give me ideas on what you want to talk about from a Scrum perspective every day. there's so much content. So I said, why not? I did try a couple of failures, lessons learned. I did try the live settings on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, and it all failed. It was a big failure. But I figured, what the heck? I was going to go live. We will go live some. I did register for YouTube Live, but it says it takes 24 hours for it to kick in. So maybe the next session we do this, I will actually have it live, and I'll have a better channel picture, and there'll be at least 2 pieces of content in there and some links and everything. So with that, thank you very much, everybody. Good morning. And yeah, I'll have to do a thing on my old UPS cup where I have my coffee, and I have a blog post about that, and maybe I'll talk about that in a future episode. Well, thank you. Take care. It was a pleasure. And enjoy your day. Happy scrumming, as I always tell everybody. Happy scrumming. Bye.